Get comfortable. This is your English listening practice, here to help you learn naturally without any pressure. Hello, learners. This is Jacob, and welcome back to English in Comfort, the place where you can learn English while you relax, lie down, or even while your eyes are half closed. No pressure, no stress, just real, natural English you can actually use in your everyday life. Today, we're going to talk about something every single one of us has to do sometimes, whether we like it or not: apologizing. And on the other side of that, how to accept an apology gracefully when someone gives one to you. Think about it for a second. How many times this month have you said sorry for something? Bumping into someone on the street, replying late to a message, forgetting a small detail someone mentioned to you last week. Apologies are everywhere in daily life, in every language, but the way English speakers actually phrase them can be surprisingly varied and surprisingly nuanced too. There's a real difference between a quick, casual, "my bad," and a heartfelt, "I feel terrible about this." And knowing which one fits which moment is genuinely part of sounding natural. So what exactly makes a good apology in English? It's not just saying sorry and walking away. There's a real skill to it. The right words, the right tone, and knowing what to say when things get a little more complicated. Let's start by listening to a short conversation. Don't worry if you don't catch every single word. Just listen first, relax, and then we'll break it all down together, nice and slowly. Here's Maya and her friend Noah, meeting up for coffee. "Hey, I'm really sorry I'm late. I know we said 11, and it's already 20 past. "Oh, don't worry about it. I only just got here myself." "No, really. I feel bad. My meeting ran way over and I couldn't step out." "Honestly, it's completely fine. These things happen. Sit down. I already ordered you a coffee." "You're the best. Thank you for being so understanding." Okay, let's slow that down and look at what actually happened there. Maya didn't just say, "Sorry, I'm late," and leave it at that. She said, "I'm really sorry I'm late. I know we said 11 and it's already 20 past." Notice how she added a specific detail, the actual time. That small detail makes the apology feel more sincere, because it shows she genuinely noticed the impact of being late, rather than just saying a quick, automatic sorry. Then Noah responded with, "Oh, don't worry about it." This is one of the most common, most natural ways to accept an apology in English. It's relaxed, it's friendly, and it immediately tells the other person, this really isn't a big deal to me. You'll hear "don't worry about it" constantly in everyday English, in all kinds of small situations. Maya continued though. She said, "No, really, I feel bad." This is interesting because even after Noah accepted her apology, she still wanted to explain a little more. "I feel bad" is a lovely simple phrase that means you feel guilty or upset about something you did. You'll hear it used all the time. "I feel bad about missing your call," or "I feel bad that I forgot your birthday." And Noah's response, "Honestly, it's completely fine. These things happen." That phrase, "these things happen," is such a useful one. It means the situation wasn't really anyone's fault. It's just a normal part of life, and there's no need to keep apologizing. It's a very kind, very deflating the tension kind of phrase, in a good way. Now, "I'm really sorry" is a great solid apology phrase, but there are quite a few other natural ways to say it, depending on how big or small the situation is. Let's go through a few of them. For small, everyday things, you'll often hear "my bad." It's very casual. You might bump into someone slightly, or forget to reply to a message, and you just say, "Oh, my bad." It's quick, it's light, and it fits perfectly into casual conversations with friends or coworkers you're comfortable with. For a slightly more sincere apology, you can say, "I didn't mean to." This phrase is really important because it explains your intention. You're telling the other person that whatever happened wasn't done on purpose. "I didn't mean to interrupt you." "I didn't mean to upset you, I promise." It softens the situation a lot because the other person understands there was no bad intention behind it. For something a bit more serious, or in a more formal setting, you might hear, "I apologize for." This is more formal than a simple "sorry," and you'll often hear it in workplaces, emails, or professional situations. "I apologize for the delay." "I apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused." It's polite, a little more distant, and very appropriate when you're speaking with someone you don't know very well, or in a professional context. And for something you genuinely regret, You might hear, I feel terrible about this. That phrase carries real emotional weight. You're not just saying sorry, you're expressing that this situation is actually bothering you. So, depending on the size of the situation and how close you are with the other person, you have quite a few natural options. Sorry, my bad, I didn't mean to, I apologize for, or I feel terrible about this. Now let's talk about the other side, how to accept an apology naturally, the way Noah did with Maya. We already heard, don't worry about it, which is probably the most common all-purpose response you'll hear. It works in almost any casual situation. You'll also very often hear simply, it's okay, or it's fine. Short, easy, relaxed. You don't need anything fancier than that in most everyday moments. Another lovely one is no harm done. This phrase means that even though something happened, nothing bad actually resulted from it. There's no real damage, no real problem. You spilled a little water on my notebook? No harm done, it's already dry. There's also a nice, slightly more idiomatic one, water under the bridge. This means the situation is completely in the past now, and there's no point holding on to it or bringing it up again. You'll often hear it used when someone wants to properly close a conversation about a small conflict. Look, that whole thing from last month, it's water under the bridge. Let's not talk about it anymore. And for something a bit more serious, when someone offers a real heartfelt apology, you might respond with, I really appreciate you saying that. This shows that you noticed the effort behind their apology and that it genuinely means something to you, even if the situation itself was upsetting. Now, apologies aren't always this simple, though. Sometimes an apology doesn't feel like enough, or the other person doesn't fully understand why you're upset. These moments are honestly more common than the easy breezy ones, especially once you move past small everyday situations and into things that actually touch someone's feelings or their sense of fairness. Let's listen to a slightly trickier conversation between two coworkers, Ben and Priya. Hey, do you have a second? I wanted to talk about yesterday's meeting. Sure, what's up? When you presented my idea as your own in front of the whole team, that really bothered me. Oh, I didn't realize it came across that way. I'm sorry, that definitely wasn't my intention. I appreciate that, but it still felt pretty frustrating in the moment. That's completely fair. I should have credited you properly, and I'll make sure to fix that going forward. Thank you. I really do appreciate you hearing me out. Let's slow that one down too, because it's a bit more emotionally complicated than the coffee example. And honestly, this kind of situation comes up a lot in real life, especially at work. Priya opened with something really useful. That really bothered me. This is a calm, clear way to express that something upset you without sounding overly dramatic or aggressive. It states the feeling honestly, but keeps the tone level and controlled. Ben's response is a really strong example of a proper apology. He said, I didn't realize it came across that way. This shows he's actually listening and reflecting, not just defending himself. Then he added, I'm sorry, that definitely wasn't my intention. Notice he didn't argue with how Priya felt. He simply apologized and explained his intention, which is exactly the right order to do things in. Priya then said something important too. I appreciate that, but it still felt pretty frustrating in the moment. This is a great phrase for a situation where the apology is a good first step, but you still want to be honest that the situation genuinely affected you. It's not rejecting the apology, it's just being truthful about your feelings. And Ben's final line, that's completely fair. I should have credited you properly, and I'll make sure to fix that going forward, is a great example of taking real responsibility. He's not just apologizing with words, he's committing to an actual change in behavior, which is often what makes an apology feel truly complete. That phrase, going forward, by the way, is a really useful one. It means starting from now into the future. You'll hear it a lot in professional settings. Going forward, let's make sure we communicate more clearly. So when an apology needs a bit more depth than just sorry, here are some phrases worth remembering. That really bothered me, or that really upset me, to honestly express your feelings. I appreciate that, but to acknowledge the apology while still being honest about how you feel. And I should have, which is a wonderful phrase for genuinely taking responsibility. I should have told you sooner. I should have asked first. I should have thought that through more carefully. Now, sometimes, beyond just words, people want to make an apology feel more real by actually doing something about it. Saying sorry is a great starting point, but for bigger mistakes, actions often matter just as much, if not more, than the words themselves. Let's listen to one more short example, this time between two roommates, Alex and Sam. "Hey, I'm really sorry about your jacket. I honestly didn't know it would shrink in the wash." "It's all right. Accidents happen. Still, let me make it up to you. I'll pay for the dry cleaning, or I could just get you a new one." "You really don't have to do that." "I want to, though. It's the least I can do." "Okay, well, a new one would be really nice, actually." "Done. I'll order it tonight." That phrase Alex used, "let me make it up to you," is such a warm, generous one. It means, let me do something good for you to balance out the situation. You'll often hear it after someone has caused a real inconvenience and they genuinely want to fix the imbalance, not just apologize verbally. And "it's the least I can do" is a lovely, humble phrase too. It means, this is actually a small thing compared to the trouble I caused, so please let me do it. It shows genuine willingness without making a big deal out of the gesture. Now, there's one more situation worth talking about, because it's honestly one of the trickiest. What do you say when someone apologizes, but you're just not ready to fully accept it yet? Maybe you're still a little hurt, or maybe you need a bit more time. This happens more often than people admit, and English actually has some really graceful ways to handle it without sounding cold or dramatic. Let's listen to one more conversation. This time it's between two old friends, Grace and Daniel, after a small falling out. "Hey, I've been thinking about what happened, and I really am sorry. I shouldn't have said what I said." "Thanks for saying that. I do believe you mean it. But I think I just need a little time. It's not that I'm still angry, I just need a bit of space to properly get over it." That's completely understandable. Take whatever time you need. "I appreciate that. I'm sure we'll be fine. I just can't pretend everything's back to normal in one conversation." No pressure at all. I'm just glad we talked. Let's slow this one down, because Grace handled a genuinely difficult moment really well. Daniel gave a solid apology. "I really am sorry. I shouldn't have said what I said." That phrase, "I shouldn't have," is another wonderful way of taking responsibility, similar to "I should have," but used for something you regret doing or saying, rather than something you failed to do. Grace responded with, "Thanks for saying that. I do believe you mean it." This is such an important phrase because it acknowledges the apology as genuine without immediately saying everything is fully resolved. It's honest and it's kind at the same time. Then she said, "I think I just need a little time." This is one of the most useful, mature phrases in this entire episode. It lets the other person know that the apology has been heard and accepted as sincere, but that emotional healing doesn't always happen instantly, just because words were said. You're not rejecting the apology, you're just being honest about your own process. She also said, "I just need a bit of space to properly get over it." To get over something is a lovely phrasal verb that means to emotionally move past a difficult situation. You'll hear it constantly. "I'm still getting over that argument," or "it took me a while to get over losing that job." And Daniel's response, "That's completely understandable. Take whatever time you need," shows real emotional maturity too. He doesn't push, he doesn't get defensive, he simply gives Grace the space she asked for. That combination, a sincere apology followed by patience, is honestly one of the healthiest ways two people can navigate a real conflict. So if you're ever in a situation where someone apologizes and you're just not fully ready to move past it yet, you now have some genuinely useful phrases. "I do believe you mean it," to acknowledge sincerity without rushing forward. "I just need a little time," to be honest about your own pace. And "I need a bit of space to get over it," to explain that emotional processing takes time, even after a good apology has already been given. It's worth remembering that accepting an apology doesn't always have to be immediate or total. Sometimes the healthiest, most honest response is simply, "I hear you, and I need a little time." And that's a completely valid, completely natural thing to say in English. So to summarize everything we've walked through today, when you need to apologize, you have a whole range of natural options depending on the situation. from something light and casual like, my bad, through the everyday standard, I'm sorry, or I didn't mean to, all the way up to something more sincere like, I feel terrible about this, or a more formal, I apologize for. And when you're accepting an apology, you can reach for something relaxed like, don't worry about it, or no harm done. Something a little more reflective like water under the bridge, or something more heartfelt like, I really appreciate you saying that. And if the situation is more complicated, remember phrases like, that really bothered me, to be honest about your feelings, I should have, to take real responsibility, and let me make it up to you when you want your apology to include real action, not just words. Now I have a small question for you from today's episode, the same way we always like to close things out here. Think about the last time you apologized to someone or the last time someone apologized to you. What phrase did you actually use? Or what phrase do you wish you'd known at the time? Share your answer in the comments. I read every single one. And honestly, real examples from your own life help other learners far more than anything scripted ever could. Before we finish, let's do one final gentle recap, just to help everything settle in your mind a little more. When something small happens, you can reach for my bad or a simple sorry. When you want to explain your intention, I didn't mean to, works beautifully. In more formal or professional situations, I apologize for fits naturally. And when the situation genuinely weighs on you, I feel terrible about this carries real emotional honesty. On the accepting side, don't worry about it. It's fine, and no harm done cover most everyday moments. Water under the bridge helps properly close something from the past. And I really appreciate you saying that, acknowledges a more heartfelt apology. For the trickier, more emotional situations, remember, that really bothered me, for honesty. I should have, or I shouldn't have, for genuine responsibility. Let me make it up to you when you want your words backed by action. And finally, I just need a little time, or I need a bit of space to get over it. For those moments when healing simply can't be rushed, no matter how sincere the apology was. None of these phrases are complicated. What makes them powerful is choosing the right one for the right moment. And honestly, that only comes with noticing them in real conversations, the way we just did together today. If you enjoyed this episode, and if this calm, situation-based way of learning feels useful to you, please subscribe for more everyday English conversations, listening practice, and gentle vocabulary breakdowns just like this one, every single week. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today, and for letting me be part of your English learning journey. Keep listening, keep noticing these little phrases in your own life, and take care, everyone.